Welcome to our weekly meditation now through to the start of August, and this feels like the second part of what's turned into a two-part exploration of. Originally I think I was going to look further into anger, and it seems to have shifted upstream, if you like, to look at the causes of anger. And last week we looked at the connections there at a sort of community or communal level, where unresolved grief can lead to grievance and thus to anger and violence. So thinking of grief, loss, the ensuing pain that can accompany that, but more at the individual level and individual circumstances tonight. So we go through our process, our ritual of settling where we are, focusing on the here, the now, noticing how you are supported through the chair or sofa, through your feet on the floor, closing the eyes or lowering the gaze, resting the arms, noticing where they fall. And just take our usual 2 cleansing breaths deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, and allowing that to be part of the settling process. Part of the relaxing process. Just notice how you're feeling, how the body is feeling. Become aware of any areas of tension or stiffness, or possibly even discomfort. Just notice those dispassionately, curiously. And if it helps, to almost direct the breath to those areas and seeing if that helps with relaxing them further. Perhaps we've all got something in the shoulders and neck region, which, if there's nothing else, perhaps just focus there. Maybe with the shoulders, even if they're not aching, just consciously give them a couple of rolls forward, and then a couple of rolls back. Then move the neck gently, and then settle again. And bring the attention back to the breath. Noticing the physical signs in your own body. Placing your hand on the abdomen and feeling it rise with the in-breath. Breathing in through the nose as always, and then falling on the out-breath. And now go back earlier in the process and just become aware of, at the tip of the nostrils, point where the air enters the body. Almost visualizing the flow of the air from the outside. As you breathe in, you're drawing that air in through the nostrils. Notice the sensation there. Maybe the sound or the warmth or the sensation of movement. Allowing that focus on the breath, on the detailed sensations of the breath to help with the relaxation, not just of the body, but of the mind as well. And if as you do it, you notice any thoughts, just in this process, notice them and let them settle. Stopping that process of a thought developing. Notice it, let it settle. Now returning to the breath, and after the in-breath just hold for 2, and then the same again after your out-breath. All of these simple breathing exercises being a really simple way of relaxing and allowing the mind to still as well. This in itself is meditation. So coming on to that idea of pain and grief that results usually from loss of some sort. Perhaps the death of a spouse where unprocessed grief has kept the person stuck in the past. Or as I think I witnessed today, after the end of a relationship, a child being transferred from one car to another with neither parent looking at the other. Or a young woman I know whose boyfriend has ended their relationship and she's carrying bitterness for the loss of the future which she thought she had. It could be pain associated with losses of other sorts that don't involve other people. Aging, injury, loss of a job. So lots of things can result in pain and grief, and usually they arise from some sort of loss. And if we don't resolve this pain, if it remains unresolved, the pain and the grief, then unfortunate or unwelcome behaviours might result. Compulsive behaviour, withdrawing from contact with others, or becoming very, very angry. Now, one solution that perhaps more at a communal level, but A solution that human beings have developed over the centuries is scapegoating, exporting our unresolved hurt onto someone or something else. A long history of this. We read of it in the Hebrew scriptures, of course. And whilst it might bring temporary relief, it is just that. We're exporting our pain rather than transforming it, and the cycle is likely to repeat itself. Richard Rohr says that if we cannot find a way to make our wounds into sacred wounds, we invariably become cynical, negative, or bitter. So what can we do within ourselves for this transforming, such as grieving a death? All healthy religion shows us that if only we could see these wounds as the way through, as Jesus did, then they would become sacred rather than scars. We've talked before about the sequence of order, disorder, and reorder. Reorder being life on the other side, the victory on the other side of failure, the joy on the other side of pain. Achieved if we go through, not under, not over, not around, but through. Learning to endure, learn from, and tolerate that disorder phase. So just return to the breath for a moment and consciously take another 2 deep breaths to resettle. Thinking of Jesus going through this, I invite you to hold an image of Jesus on the cross and Mary at the foot of the cross, both absorbing pain and grief. Not returning it, but learning from it. Perhaps even, dare we say, learning what it had to teach. And the same for us. When we can hold our pain consciously and trustfully, we're in a place open to learning and breaking through to a much deeper level of faith and consciousness. So maybe just hold that image of 2 people in pain and grief, but holding it, absorbing it. And then finally to a situation, what we've talked about so far is that's where just one person has been involved, or it's pain and grief that we're with on our own. But sometimes there's the situation where another has caused grief or pain, and here forgiveness is a powerful tool. Holding on to grievances is our way of wishing the past could be different. When we hang on to those negative emotions, anger and grief and the desire for vengeance, we only hurt ourselves. And if we go further to strike back and cause harm, we only invite a cycle of retribution. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. Dalai Lama says, not reacting with negativity or giving in to the negative emotions, that doesn't mean that you do not respond to the acts or that you allow yourself to be harmed again. Justice, the restoration of balance, should still be sought. But this justice can be served without anger, without hatred, and once it is served, we must let go. Makes me think of how violent we think our attitude towards those who've served a prison term and still holding that grievance over them. But until we forgive a person that has wronged us, we allow that person to hold power over us. Forgiveness allows past hurts to recede into the distance, and then they stop becoming an impediment to a joyful life. So on that note, we move to our longer silence with music again from Salt of the Sound. Taking these minutes to either focus on our breath and rest, in the waiting, wash over me. From moments that overwhelm, would you set me free? Would you set me free? Still this anxious heart, come breathe your word. May your peace break down these walls and speak to my heart. So some of those lyrics may go with us into the silence. Or thinking about someone who we know is grieving and in pain, and how they might be helped to let go, to transform, or any areas that we ourselves need to transform. So we come out of our silence. Still this anxious heart, come breathe your word. In the midst of it all, you're my constancy. Still this anxious heart, come breathe your word. And so a closing thought, prayer from the handbook. Look with divine pity, O God, on the pains of your whole family, and let the passion of Christ and his infinite love make fruitful for good the tribulations of the innocent, the sufferings of the sick, and the sorrowing of the bereaved. Amen.